If social media was around in your childhood, what embarrassing moment would you be famous for? Pooping on the floor between arcade games at age 7 so I wouldn't lose my place in line to play Gauntlet. I lost my place in line. I wonder why. Poop wasn't big enough. Oh man, I used to work at an arcade and I was the guy with the tape measure that had go out and see if some kid's floor shit was big enough to allow him to stay in line. Hated that job so much. We had to measure by volume and viscosity, T smell radius for us, taste test, and we had to obey the 5-second rule so you can imagine how that went. The taste and texture of your floor poop is insufficient, young man. He probably didn't have enough tokens. Oh, I've got a good one. I was 7 years old and my parents were hosting a family and friends gathering at home. I mostly stayed out of the way and played video games in the living room and adults would ask me what I was playing and whatever. It was nice. A few hours into the party I wanted some soda. I go to the fridge and see one of those little ice-breaking hammers and proceed to stick my tongue to it like the cartoons did to have a laugh. I pulled it off immediately and there was blood everywhere. I ran out crying with my bloody tongue out to the absolute horror of every single adult. Now, you'd think this would be the viral moment, but no. A family friend that was a doctor was there and he came over to me, saw my tongue and told me it's fine. I just need you to spit out some blood so I can get a better look. I proceeded to spit my mouth full of blood just straight to his face. Every single person that saw it lost their shit laughing. Even the doctor. Did you lost your taste on foods, or it was completely fine? Oh, I was absolutely fine. Tongue healed in a couple of days and all I got to eat was cold food. Tongues heal at an incredible rate. My little brother fell and bit 1/3 of his tongue nearly clean off. They stitched it together, and it was completely refused in days. It's incredible. My mother has a saying that literally all mouth injuries can be healed in a week. It's shit like this that makes me wanna believe her. As someone who had 3 grafts in my mouth, this is not true for the more major things. 6-8 weeks per graft of no straws, no solid food. Nothing that flakes, crunches or shards. More minor things though, yay, a week is pretty much fine for most oral injuries. Tongue bitting is actually mid-level, not minor, but not surgery needed. Ironic. The only food you could eat was food that shared the characteristics that caused the damage in the first place. Made of metal. I read this at a wrong time, I'm going to wake the neighbors up. LOL. Was in choir and had an upset stomach, so was laying down while everyone else was practicing. Adults thought I was faking it so made me get up and sing with everyone. A few minutes later I puked all over another kid. They let me go home after that. Oh God, I'm sorry, mine was similar. Mom thought I was faking and still took me to the lame nature walk when I said my stomach really hurt. Kids Club were on a trip there and all stopped to watch me throw up everywhere repeatedly for a while. It was so embarrassing. Similar here, my teacher thought I was being picky about eating peas and sweet corn so force-fed me all of them and I threw up but caught it in my mouth so I laid it out gently in a circle around my plate. It was quite thick. I got to go home after that but I have hated peas and sweet corn ever since. My mother, bless her, made it a point to never force-feed any of her kids. I remember her getting shit for it from my grandmother and whatnot. But guess what? We're all fully adjusted adults eating vegetables regardless. Sucks you had that experience. Skeptical. My dad tried to force the issue with me and I have RF'd lol. Hey, that happened to my dad. Except about 15 minutes later he walked up to her desk and said miss I don't feel and vomited all over her lunch, which was a baked bean sandwich. He's always very specific about what type of sandwich it was, cause he thought it was so weird. Anyways, she never forced him to eat anything after that. My mom did that to me when we were on a family vacation when I was like 17. I got food poisoning from some bad sushi and she insisted we drive out to the hiking trail she had planned. I whimpered every time the car hit a bump or took a curve too fast, and then bolted for the bathroom at the little park ranger building the second she parked the car. I did manage not to puke shit until I got to the toilet, so that's something, I guess. Similar story here. Grade 1, I told the teacher that I wasn't feeling good. It was close to the end of the day, so she told me to just sit quietly with my head on my desk. At the end of the day we were lining up to leave the classroom and I threw up all over the place. I was just little and didn't understand what was happening, and I started crying ... crying and throwing up in front of my whole class. It was traumatizing. This reminds me of when I threw up in class after my teacher didn't believe I was feeling sick. This reminds me of when I broke my collarbone and the school nurse didn't believe me and called me a liar. Sort of same. I'm a total sympathy puker. The sound and smell trigger the fuck out of my nausea. 3rd grade, kid comes to class looking green. He pukes. Teacher tells us to all sit and be quiet while waiting for the janitor. I gotta go or I'll puke too. You'll be fine. Narrator, I was not in fact fine. Similar story. Told mom stomach hurt, she sends me to school anyway. I made it the entire 30-minute bus ride, and when we started shuffling off the bus at school I started puking on the back of the kid in front of me. Everyone dove out of the way and I left a trail all the way off the bus. Everyone else had to use the emergency exit to get off the bus. I was mortified, but I didn't catch too much shit about it. I was in secondary school in science and started to feel queasy. I put my hand up to go to the toilet. The teacher screamed at the boy in front of me and I spewed everywhere. I was mortified. I puked right next to my crush. I'll give my classmates their due. I didn't get teased for it.